I was not in the mindset of a business owner. She told me, like, your talent, this is something that comes naturally to you, so you should be able to give it away.
Did you see yourself building something like this?
I had ideas.
Yeah.
Never thought I could do it.
Shortly after joining BILD Pro, something pretty significant happened.
I just wish I knew the warning signs.
When it's life and death, literally.
My 9-year-old daughter, she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
Stephanie, welcome to BILD What Matters. When I invited you over, I felt immediate regret into my home because of what you do for a living as an interior designer. And it was something that I thought about after the fact, like, oh, I'm pretty proud of my house. But then when you think about it from a designer's perspective, I started to see all the little things that we probably should have fixed or tweaked, but you've been very kind.
You have a beautiful home and mine is much worse. I always get fixer-uppers, so like, yeah, no shame.
I was fishing for that compliment. No, seriously, thank you so much for coming here. You have over 20 years in the industry, and we are going to properly introduce you to people who are watching, but you also have a story, and you're going through some pretty significant challenges, to say the least. It's never easy when it involves our children, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. You've been generous enough to be open and share, because there's a lot of parents out there that are struggling. And then when you add entrepreneurship on top of that, and you've had some significant growth spurts inside your business, inside your mindset. So while you're building both of these up simultaneously, I really felt like you were such a great person to be able to talk to, because like I said, it's hard enough to be an entrepreneur and then throw on, which we will talk about, the challenges with your daughter. I don't know how you do it, but you're gonna.
I mean, I don't know how I do it half the time either, to be honest. So you just like do it. You don't have a choice, right? So
for the people meeting you, for the first time, who is Stefanie Seguin behind Twig and Timbers? We'll talk about the person first, and then let's talk about what you do.
The person first. Well, I grew up out in the country. I had to move to Montreal to do interior design to go to college.
Okay.
So I grew up in a very small town, very secluded. I would also say smaller mindsets. So then I went to school. I moved to Montreal. I ended up living there for 8 years. And before I graduated design, I had the opportunity to work on a project. A client decided to hire me. He saw the potential in me. That's a little story on its own. But anyways, so I guess that gave me the confidence to start my own business. And I just kept getting work from there. So I live with my husband and my daughter. She is 9.5 years old. We've moved a lot, my husband and I, back and forth between Montreal and Ottawa when we were dating, then when we first got married, back and forth. But I always worked for myself, and in the beginning often had side jobs to be able to do both, because I was not in the mindset of a business owner. I was running my business like a paid hobby. It was something I loved to do. And, when I first started, I actually asked one of my professors, like, how much do I charge an hour? And this was 22 years ago, right? So at the time she was like, charge $50 an hour, because I didn't have any experience. I was fresh out of school. And I said, oh my God, I can't charge that. So I charged half of that, just because I didn't have the confidence in myself. And then, like, speaking with my mother, she, as the years went on, I started charging more. And then I would tell my mom, because I was so like proud of myself that I'm making X dollars an hour. But then it was like, well, why are you charging that? Like, that's too much to charge. And I felt like, oh, like, am I like...
Well, then they start planting seeds from their perspective.
Yeah.
And this is where that small mindset comes to play. And oftentimes it can come from the people that love us the most.
Yeah.
And it's not ill-willed. It's just that is not the stage that they're at.
Well, she had, right. And she told me, you know, like, your talent, this is something that comes naturally to you. So you should be able to,
oh, wow,
like, give it away.
Right. Because if it's easy for you, then you couldn't possibly charge the value of the actual product.
Right. And the funny thing is, my mother, my father are very like entrepreneurial, like, spirits. They've always, like, we have a hobby farm. And so my dad cuts and sells wood. They sell this, they sell that. Like, they sell their eggs. My mom used to make pies and sell them, like, you know, live off the farm and then sell. But it was never to make like a big profit. It was just more like to cover costs and whatnot. So running an actual business, I don't think my mom understood, like, that I have costs involved in this. Like, I have to buy a computer. I have to pay for AutoCAD yearly. I have to, like, I have all these subscriptions I have to pay for. I have to pay for ink. I have to pay for gas. I have to pay for, even though it's a home business, like, there's still expenses to it. And so a lot of people see what I'm charging hourly, or used to, because I don't charge hourly anymore, but you know,
don't quote stuff on that rate.
Yeah. Don't charge hourly. It's not the way to go, but people see that number and think that that's all going into your pocket. And I think that's what my mom thought as well, where it's the reality of is like less than half, like,
and it shouldn't even be the logistics. And I know that so many entrepreneurs think that way. And that's one of the biggest reasons why they're being held back today is because they think about the fact that it does come easy for them. Good. You should be doing things that come natural to you. And the fact that all the logistics in the background, nobody sees.
Right.
And so when you only think about that and you put a price tag on it versus actually charging the value, well, what value does your service or product bring to somebody?
It took me years to figure out that I'm actually bringing value to my clients. So for years I didn't. Like, I was charging like the minimum just to get, I wasn't making any money.
Not to mention, you know, all the time that you spent to learn and master your craft, all the education that you paid for, everything.
Learning on site, learning on the job, the years of that. Nobody sees all that. And I mean, my clients will see it like when I'm on site and then questions come up and they're like, oh, Steph, she knows, like, because I know right away because I have that experience. But also trying to explain that to clients is like, I don't like to like boast about myself or anything either. So that's another thing that is like, how do I sell myself? Like, so that was also like something that limited me as well.
Of course. And getting through that process. So I think that's fantastic, because that is a lot of struggles for entrepreneurs when they're starting out and when they're stuck. And being stuck at that level and understanding that to get to that next level, well, you need to bring a new version of yourself. And so let's fast forward to where you are today. And you've been now doing this for over 20 years.
22.
22 years. Your business is called Twig and Timbers.
Twig and Timber Interiors,
Talk to me where that name came from and where you are today. Close the gap from where you started to where you are today.
So when I first registered my business in Montreal, I named it Urban Spaces, because in Quebec, you have to have a French version and you have to register the French version. So it had to be bilingual. So Espace Urbain, Urban Spaces. So I was under that name for several years. And then when I moved to Elmer, had my baby, it kind of took not a pause because I was still working during then, but like I wasn't actively looking for work. Then we moved to Ontario in Embrun. And then I was just like, you know what, like this is a fresh start. I don't have to, I felt like I had Urban Spaces because like the only reason I had that name was because I had to find something that was bilingual. Like it wasn't something that meant anything to me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start fresh. I'm in Ontario now. We're not going back to Quebec. So then I started thinking like, I do smaller projects. I'll do a washroom, not anymore. But at the time I was like, I do washrooms, or I could do whole home renovations. So I kind of do like smaller projects and bigger projects. And I grew up very similar to the setting that we're in right now. Like, out in the country. I grew up on 88 acres of land. It was all forest. Like, I was often in the wood shop with my dad, like just like building things. Like, I'm pretty sure I was in that wood shop more than my brothers were. Not like consistently, like, weekly, but I was in there with my dad every once in a while trying to like build things, whatever. And so I was surrounded by trees. So it was like twig, smaller projects, timber, bigger projects. So I was like, you know what? Twig and timber interiors. Like,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's where that name came from. And I also at the time didn't want my name ever in my business. A lot of designers will like put their name in their business. A lot of people, don't spell my first name correctly, and then also don't pronounce my last name correctly. So I was like, I don't want my name in it. So,
interesting.
And also, like, if I ever wanted to grow, I had this in the back of my mind, never told anybody, but if I ever wanted to grow my business, I don't want it to just be my name. Like, if I have a name that is not me necessarily, I can grow into other things.
It's a great exit strategy, because oftentimes when the business is solely focused around the founder, that's one of the challenges when you're selling a business, because the concern is, if I buy this, and do I have to continue that name, or there would be a rebrand?
Yeah.
And is the business being carried by the founder?
Right. Yeah.
Smart.
So that's where that
Very
came
smart.
from.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
And now you mentioned that you don't do bathrooms anymore. Are you only focused on larger scale?
So I do washrooms, but in tandem with other parts of the home.
Okay.
If I really need to fill in my schedule and the client has the budget for the washroom, then I will do a single washroom.
Right.
But I'm at the point where I don't feel the need to take on the smaller projects. That's not where the profit is. And now I'm seeing my business as an actual business where I need to make profit so that, I can do all the things I want to do, and pay for all the things I need to pay for within my business for it to grow. So I'm trying to stay away from that as well. And also, like, I have minimum fees that I charge.
Yep.
So, I mean, if someone really wants to pay my minimum fees to do a washroom, I can do it. But if, a bigger project comes along, I'm going to turn that project down because I'm going to take the bigger project.
Absolutely. So who would your ideal customer be, and what would the ideal project be for you right now?
So I have had my ideal clients currently and in the past. My ideal client is really somebody who leads a busy life and does not want to be bothered by a home renovation. They understand that they don't know much about home renovations. Maybe they lived through one or two before, but they really value the professional opinions of the designer, the contractor, the tradespeople. So they don't want to be bothered with like, oh, how is the tile direction going? Oh, there's a pipe in the wall. Like, do we move? Like, no. My clients are not involved really at all, past the point of me figuring out, asking them questions, deeping dive into like their wants and their needs and how they want the space to function and all of that and all the pretty stuff. But once we've decided all of that, they are really not involved other than, hey, when would you like the duct cleaning booked? Is there a time that works best for you? They really leave it in our hands, and then we take the project and go for it, complete it, and then just basically hand the keys off to them. And they're so happy. They're so happy they don't have to deal with all the mess and all the stress that comes along with it. Like, I think a lot of people don't understand until they're like literally like knee deep in the reno that they're in over their heads because they think, you know, they watch HGTV and they're like, oh, that's pretty easy. Oh, like it's not that big of a deal. But like when you're in it and if you're still living in the home, it's extremely stressful.
Absolutely.
Like you want everybody out of your house as soon as possible and you just want to move on with your life at that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you mentioned going through this transition, which I'm going to touch on even more because I think it's going to be so valuable for people to hear. But from clients that you used to serve to the clients that you're describing today that pay more, lower maintenance, and sounds like actually value your work.
They do, yeah.
Talk to me about that shift and clients that you served before, which I'm sure are lovely. But
I've still had
sure
some amazing
challenging
clients. I've had some amazing clients in the past. I have. But those also were the clients that had confidence in me, had trust in me, and saw the value.
Do you find that the larger the project, the more confidence is put on versus the smaller the project?
100%.
Yeah.
And because I'm dealing with, renos aren't cheap. I'm dealing with a lot of money. It's a big investment for clients to be putting into their home. Sometimes it's more than what they've paid for their home that they're putting into their home. And this is where they live. They're stuck with whatever you do, right? So they have to trust you and the process and everything that you're doing, and that you are going to make the best decisions on their behalf. Yeah. I make decisions during the process that, depending on the client, typically I won't even ask the client. I just because I've had so many conversations with the client and I know what they value. They value the quality. They want it done correctly. Yeah. I've had these conversations in depth with the client to know that, like, if a contractor asks me, oh, well, do you want to do this or this is going to cost a bit more? I make the executive decision unless, I know it's going to be a lot more. Then obviously I'm talking to the clients, but I've already had that conversation with the client in that, like, are you okay with me making those decisions for you so I don't have to continually bother you? And it's not only bothering them, but it's like I'm asking them something that they don't know anything about anyways. And so they throw it back at me and say, well, you know best. So just make the decision.
The best kind.
Yeah. So
what would you tell Stefanie, who used to charge
$25 an hour,
who had a hard time charging $25 an hour, and probably worked with some challenging clients that didn't have the trust, to who you are today with the larger scale projects and the higher paying clients who have confidence in you? What advice would you give her?
I would say take on those first few projects, get some experience, and then as you move along, charge more and more and show the value to those clients. And honestly, the biggest part of it is just having the confidence in myself, because I know for a fact now that in the past I had clients who could afford it.
Yes.
But I didn't have
paid it.
And they would have paid it.
Absolutely.
But I didn't have the confidence that I do now.
There is a psychology to that too. When we charge higher, then there's a perceived value that the outcome is going to be that.
Yep. And as you gain experience, your fees go up.
Exactly.
Right? Because you have that higher value. You have that background now because you've had the experience. So there's a correlation.
There's a correlation. But so often, just like you said, we're holding on to this lack of confidence and all of the thoughts that are going inside of our head. And then we're putting that on display for the clients. And then you're only going to start attracting the clients that also have a lack of confidence, aren't willing to pay, and are going to micromanage. And so it's just such a crazy shift that people don't understand when they're trying to figure it out on their own. For you, when did this transition happen for you to go from even what we would call technician do it yourself, everything is a struggle, to now stepping into more of a leader and a CEO mindset where you're now building your team and your systems, and you're charging the value of your work.
So during COVID, I started listening to a lot of design related podcasts and mindset podcasts. One of the podcasts that I had listened to was Rebecca Hayes' podcast. Okay. She's a designer.
I was going to say, is she a designer?
Yeah, she's an interior designer in Toronto. She now has moved over to coaching interior designers because there's a big lack in the industry. When we go to school, we are not taught how to run a design business. In interior design, what we learn is basically setting you up to work in the commercial space. So like restaurants, hotels, all of that. It's really not geared towards owning your own business and working in the residential sector. So there's a lot that I had to learn on my own. And 22 years ago, there were no courses that you could take a business of design course or anything like that. So I started listening to her podcast. And then she had introduced a course for designers called Power of Process. So I was like, you know what? I think I probably have ADHD. Like my brain is all over the place.
As many entrepreneurs,
And I was like, I think a lot of people view me as like, I probably have like an A-type personality, but everything I really don't. Together? It's probably B or C. Like, I'm just like, I need everything in front of me. Like, anyways, I have systems in place, but like, not like everybody probably thinks I do. So I was like, you know what? I probably need help in the process situation. So I took her course and I learned a lot. I implemented probably 90%.
Amazing.
95% of what I learned. Good. So it was an online course, but it was like weekly Zoom calls and whatnot. So you could ask questions, whatever. So I took that and it changed the way I work with clients completely, but it also gave me a lot more confidence because I was much more organized. And I had those client-facing documents that made me look professional, made me feel more professional, and made me feel like I have a process. This is step one. This is step two. So the clients get all of those documents as we move along throughout the process, where before everything was just in my head. So I would just like have a meeting with them and say, okay, they would ask, oh, what are the next steps? So I would like kind of explain, but I've been doing it for so long that probably half of what I needed to tell them, I wasn't verbalizing to them. So I would get emails, and I do not get emails from my clients unless like, oh, we're going to be gone for a week, just to let it, I don't get those clients from those emails from my clients anymore, which is like, what just happened?
It's crazy how it can just lift and you don't even realize the weight that you're carrying until you lift it.
So I took that course, I implemented all of that. It gave me more confidence to charge more and change like my website and how I present myself and whatnot. And then I raised my fees. And I went from charging hourly and giving invoices to clients like every 2 weeks or maybe once a month, depending on where we were in the project. It wasn't like a consistent thing, like, first Tuesday every month. No, it was like kind of all over the place because I was charging hourly. And I would always go over on my hours, but I felt bad charging it, so I wouldn't charge it. So I was like losing money on top of it. The clients never knew, but I also at that point was with clients who were more budget conscious. And so they would see my hour and be like,
you felt the energy.
Did it really take that long to look at like fabrics and wallpapers? Oh, actually it took me way longer, but I already reduced it because I felt bad. But then like I felt like I had to reduce it again because you don't understand the process like until you're in it, right? So
but that's even another point to anchor on too, because when you're putting out that type of energy, you're going to attract that same energy back. And then it becomes this vicious loop because then they're going to be looking at everything, penny pinching, and then you feel the guilt. Even if you have nothing to feel guilty about.
And so I was listening to more like mindset podcasts as well. And I was just like, At one point in Rebecca's podcast, she was like, you are automatically the expert as soon as someone is hiring you for something that they know nothing about. Even if you don't have that much experience, you still know more than them. So, like, you're worth it. And anyways, so it just kind of got me in the mindset of like, I can run like this, like a business. I can be profitable. Like, why can't I? I see other designers being very successful. Like, why can't I? Right. So it was just kind of like a slow, like, I guess, brainwash of like listening to all these mindset podcasts of like, oh, I am worth it. Oh, they do see me as a professional. Oh, I do know a lot more than them. Oh, I do have way more experience than them. I actually know my stuff. Like, so yeah, I think it was just like a combination of a couple of years of just like getting this into my brain and then also not talking about it to my mom. Like, I can't tell her how much I charge anymore.
Yeah.
And I had to cut that off because I would come back and then I would feel so guilty. You know what I mean? Like, I'm charging this client this much money. Like, this is easy for me. I love doing this. Like, it's fun. Why am I charging this? So like, and then it would set me back. So I had to stop that.
It's, again, I can see so many people resonating with what you're saying because often that is our circle, is our loved ones, our friends, our family, and people that we would have grown up with, but we've outgrown in certain areas, or they're just areas that they've never really had that experience. But then their thought process, their programming gets projected onto us, and then we start second guessing everything because that's been our soundboard.
Yeah.
And I think it's a nice transition to even how we met, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you started coming out to BILD.
Yes.
I used to host monthly for 4.5 years, religiously every single month.
I just wanted to see like what it was about and see if I can learn stuff and see what you were about. So, yeah.
Did you find me online? Was it BILD or was it me
I
first?
found it on Instagram. Somebody, I guess, posted about BILD. So I was like, oh, what is this? Then I started following you. Then I started attending the BILDs. Yeah. And then I was like, Interesting. Then you had the mastermind.
I did.
And I was like, I'm just going to try. Because at that point, I was like, I want to grow my business. Up until like COVID, like I did not want to grow my business. I did not want to have a team. I was happy, just me, myself, and I.
Okay.
And now I'm like, screw that. Next level. Like, if I want to do something with my life and like be able to provide for my family in a way that like maybe a lot of people can't, you have to grow. You have to go to the next step. So now I'm like, I'm at peace with that. Like, I'm good with like hiring and delegating, and it's pretty exciting.
Getting into that, because that is very exciting. Because, I remember you coming out to BILD, and we talked a little bit, and it's hard as a host. I'm always talking to everybody. And then we host masterminds twice a year. And you weren't part of BILD Pro, which is my elevated program for entrepreneurs that are already in business and scaling to the next level. But we open up sometimes to guests, and you were a guest that came in. And I remember thinking, oh, interesting. I'm excited to learn more about Stefanie and her business. And you came out to that, and then you joined BILD Pro very shortly after. And you just resigned for year 2, which I'm, thrilled to have seen your evolution, to come in. And, this is where things start to turn a little bit for you, and we're going to talk about, but just watching this growth that you've done now, starting to build teams, social media presence, a legacy project that we will talk about, just to tease. But shortly after joining BILD Pro, something pretty significant happened in your life.
Yeah, just like probably 3 weeks after.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Take your time.
Yeah. a lot of people know because I posted on social media, but it's always hard to talk about because it's really shitty. But my 9-year-old daughter at the time was 8. She was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So that like flipped our lives upside down. I actually had to pause BILD Pro for a few weeks. I think I had messaged you and said like I can't attend a few of the calls. I told you what I was dealing with. And I felt shitty about that because like when I say I'm going to do something, I want to do it, right? Like, so that was really difficult, but just learning about like blood sugar levels and how it's going to affect her. So basically insulin is keeping her alive, but it could also kill her. So a lot of people don't understand that. So like I have my phone on me right now in case my alarms go off, but it's a 24-hour thing. It doesn't go away. But yeah, so my daughter was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and I'm not terribly quiet about it because I didn't know the signs of it when she was diagnosed. I just thought, oh, she's tired. Oh, she's losing weight because she's going to go through a growth spurt. Like, I didn't know the signs. And so I tell people because like the more knowledge you have, the better, right? So yeah, we've been dealing with that. Yeah, she's dealing with it like a pro. Like the first few months were pretty horrible. I don't want to go into certain details because it's her, but it was pretty difficult. The school is amazing and all of that. So like I had to go meet with the school and speak in front of 10 education workers that work with her at the school so that they are all aware of what's going on and signs to look for and all of that. Yeah, but she gets injections every time she wants to eat. She gets an injection. We have, before doing like any activities, we have to look at her blood sugar levels. If they're a little bit low, she has to have sugar, wait a little bit, then she could do her activity. Or while she's doing her activity, we have to watch her numbers because she's very sensitive to activity. So her numbers could drop pretty fast, which could be very dangerous. Yeah, so it's just, that's what we've been dealing with. And so, yeah.
I didn't know if I didn't think I needed,
yeah. That's just part of it.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about that. It's your kid, and
yeah, that's the hard part. It's like, I would have preferred it happen to me. And type 1 diabetes is not, a lot of people think, or they get it confused with type 2 diabetes is like, oh, you were giving her too much sugar or she's not eating healthier. Has nothing to do with that. The endocrinologist actually explained it to me in that you get a virus and typically your immune system fights that virus, and that's how you get rid of a cold. Right? In this case, she got a virus. And her immune system was attacking the virus to get rid of the virus, but it decided to also attack the pancreatic cells. It's just like a fluke.
Yeah.
And so it started attacking the pancreatic cells. And when that happens, the pancreas starts to die. And that's all it is. And I didn't know this, but you can get it at any age.
Yeah.
And when I had posted about it, I had a few people contact me. One girl that I used to work with, she's in her mid-30s, and she had just gotten diagnosed a couple of years before, in her 30s, with type 1 diabetes. So, like, it's insane. Like, I didn't know that. And it's scary because anybody can get it.
It doesn't seem talked about at all. Mm-hmm. If I think about just my own awareness, very, very low, really you're one of the first people that has introduced this to me. And I'd heard about it, but from a details perspective, I couldn't tell you much. What do people need to know? Or I'll reframe that question. What do you wish that you knew?
I just wish I knew the warning signs.
The warning signs.
So she had lost quite a bit of weight within a month period. And I mean, you live with your child every day, so it's something that you don't really notice. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, she's kind of gaining weight, or she's going back down a size. So when I was a child, my younger brother had lost a fair amount of weight. He got really skinny and then he shot up. So I thought that's what was happening to her.
Yeah.
So,
well, kids go through growth spurts, so you never know.
I thought it was normal.
Absolutely.
I didn't think anything of it. I went on the school trip. I was a parent chaperoning on the school trip, and I know she was really quiet. And she's usually like a bubbly kid, like unless she's not feeling well, but like she's pretty social. And she was playing by herself almost the whole time. And I asked the teacher, like, is she always like it was a bit warm out, but nothing crazy. And I was like, yeah, she's been a little bit more quiet. And then the teacher's like, I know she's lost a lot of weight. I'm like, Then I started clicking like, oh yeah, she's actually getting pretty skinny. And then right after school, the next day we left on a trip to go to Montreal. And it was for my husband's, he had a work conference. So we got a hotel with a rooftop pool. And so my daughter and I were at the rooftop pool quite a bit, and it was sunny and it was hot. So like, I'm not super great in the sun. I'm pale. I'm like, I can't be in the sun too long. I start not feeling well. Like I need to be out of the heat, sensitive anyways. And so she would go back to the hotel room and nap, or we would go for supper and she would just I have a picture of her pass out on my husband's shoulder. Like she didn't even want to eat. And she was excited to go on this trip. She loves food. Like this is a kid who she's not a picky eater. She loves fancy things and like going out to fancy restaurants. I don't know where she gets that from. And she wasn't eating. She only wanted to drink apple juice. Okay. So you get extreme thirst.
Okay.
She was just no energy, which is another one. And she had lost a lot of weight. And so my sister's a nurse, and I was messaging her from the hotel room being like, she just passed out again. Like this kid stopped taking naps before she was 2 years old. Like this kid doesn't not nap. Even when she's sick, it's like we have to force her to nap. So this was out of the ordinary for her. And then she was getting oral thrust on her lips, so white stuff all on her lips, and her breath was bad. It was on her tongue. And my sister was like, anytime you get that, there's something wrong with your body. It's your body telling you that like, heads up, there's something wrong.
Okay.
So then I started Googling.
White around your lips.
White on your lips.
Where you were saying if you wipe it away, it comes back.
It comes back pretty quickly. It was on her tongue, and her breath smelled very acidic. Okay. Like sour.
Was it like that the whole time, or did that come?
No, it was like that the whole time, but I guess I'm not a medical professional. I didn't understand what the white stuff was. She just kept like wiping it. And so I didn't, we were busy. We were going shopping. We were going pool. We were doing this, we were doing that. And, so I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to it.
Oftentimes we look to see if it's going to clear up on its own.
Yeah.
I get it.
So, and then I was messaging my sister, and she's like, oh, like it might be diabetes. It might be this. We were kind of like asking chat. We're like, oh, this is not great.
Does the same thing happen for type 2 diabetes?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll look that up because that's interesting.
Probably.
Right.
Probably. So anyways, we got back Saturday, and I spoke to my sister on the phone. I'm like, she's passed out on the sofa again. She's like, Steph, you got to go to the hospital. I'm like, well, when we were in Montreal, I booked an appointment with my doctor, but it was only 2 weeks later. And she was like, Steph, no, you have to like go today or tomorrow. I'm like, it's Saturday. The clinic's closed. Tomorrow, like they're closed. I'll go Monday. She's like, you cannot wait till Monday. You have to go to the emergency.
Wow.
I said, are you serious? She's like, Steph, like, this is urgent. You
Okay.
have to go see a doctor right now. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm like, okay, we're packing our bags. Like she scared me.
Yeah, of course.
And so we packed our bags. We're like, okay, we're probably going to be there overnight. We packed overnight bag. We woke Maddie up and we headed to Chio.
What was going through your mind during that trip in?
Like, oh shit, this could be serious. I'm sorry, the camp counselor's calling me, which I have to answer.
Yeah, answer it. Go for it.
I'm sorry. Hello?
Oof.
Sorry.
That's okay. What was...
She's just running high. And when you're high, like over 17 for 3 hours, she can go into diabetic ketoacidosis, which is her body shutting down.
Wow.
So the camp counselor is like, and she had a 6-unit correction, which by now should have been bringing it down and it's not. So, and she's doing activity, which also should be bringing it down and it's not.
Right.
So also hormones play a big part, and she's 9.5 years old. So her hormones are like
up and down.
Yeah. So
she's at a type 1 diabetes specific camp.
She went last week. We just picked her up a few days ago, actually.
Okay.
So this diabetes camp is called Camp Banting. I don't know if it's put on by CHIO, but there are CHIO endocrinologists that are on site the whole week. Pretty much all the counselors that are there have type 1 diabetes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So everyone either has type 1 diabetes or works with type 1 diabetic children.
I remember we chatted before she went to the camp. How was that experience for you? That was
the first 2 nights, I cried a little bit. Yeah. Because she went only knowing one kid, but they're in different groups. So she wasn't in the other group with the other kid. So she didn't know anybody. She didn't know any of the counselors. She didn't know any of the kids. She's never been camping before in the woods in a cabin. She's a little bit, she's a little particular. She doesn't like bugs. So
I can relate.
And it was like the hottest week. There was a heat wave and there's no AC.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I was like, okay, in the evenings, I was like, is she in a corner crying that she wants to go home? I don't know. We actually had a 2-hour Zoom call with the counselors 2 weeks before the camp, just so they can go through all the protocols with us. And one of them was, we disconnect their SIM cards. You will not see their readings. So she wears a Dexcom that monitors her blood sugar levels, and then it goes to an app on my phone so I can...
And they do that.
Yeah, so I can see it from wherever she is. So I have to monitor that all the time. She's 9 years old and does not pay attention to that. So that gets turned off. So the whole week I had 0 contact with her and 0, I can't see her readings.
Do they update you?
No.
Wow. It's hard enough for a parent of a child that is not going through type 1 diabetes to drop their kids off for the first time at camp and be disconnected. How was that week for you?
After the first 2 nights, it was fine because they had posted on their Instagram and I saw a picture of her and she was happy.
Okay.
And she had French braids going down her hair. So I'm like, someone did her hair. She's having fun.
Yes.
So then that was like a release.
Yeah. That's a big ask for the first time.
Yeah. But
that serious.
The really interesting thing is that so she also has celiac. Because when you have type 1 is an autoimmune disease. So when you have one, you often have another. Okay. So celiac often comes with type 1.
You found out about celiac after the diagnosis?
Yeah. Okay. So they do blood tests. Every type 1, you have to go to the CHIO, like every so often they do blood tests because they know that things are coming up. They don't tell you because they don't want to scare you. Yeah. But then, so we got the diagnosis in January. So 6 months after her initial diagnosis. Anyways, the really interesting thing was my husband and I were disconnected for almost a week. Okay, so it was like just me and him. We didn't have to count carbs every meal. We weren't looking at our phones every half hour to check on her. It was just like normal. And then the day that she got back, and she's like, Mom, I'm hungry. I'm like, okay. Oh, we have to count your carbs.
Right.
It was like now I know why they tell the parents to disconnect for a week to give us a break.
Yeah.
And it was that moment that I was like, oh my God, this is like really a full-time job.
Yeah.
Like I didn't, because you get thrown into it.
Yeah.
Like you leave the hospital and your life is completely different and you literally have no choice. So to have like a week off after a year of having it, and then she's like, I'm hungry, I want to eat. Okay, well go grab something. But I need insulin. Oh yeah.
Is that almost more challenging to get that taste of the relief and then go right back into it, or was that helpful?
It was amazing for a week.
Yeah.
But then when I had to go back into it
transition
sucked.
back, yeah.
But I mean, it sucked for, the 15 minutes because then it's like
Okay.
normal again.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you need a break. And let's back up a little bit to when you got to the hospital. How long was that process of checking into emergency and then finding out the actual diagnosis?
It was a slight blur,
Yeah, I bet.
but it was pretty quick
It was pretty quick.
because as soon as I brought her into triage, the nurse picked up the phone and said, possible diabetes, we need a bed, because she was in DKA.
Did you have any idea the magnitude of what type 1 diabetes was? Had you been
Not really.
Googling or on the way up, or just kept it?
Not really.
Okay. So even as they're saying it, you don't know what you're getting into.
I knew that she would have to be on insulin the rest of her life.
Okay.
I did not know that activity is going to affect her,
Yep.
that hormones are going to affect her, that stress is going to affect her, that heat is going to affect her, taking a shower is going to affect her. Pizza. You can't eat pizza because the greases, the fats, everything that is on there, we actually have to split up her dose. We found out is that like if her dose is 6 units, you give 3 units now, you wait an hour and a half or so, then you give her another 3 units, because otherwise she's going to go whoop, and then she's going to go whoop, which when you go high fast and when you go low fast, she feels like garbage. Like she feels sick. She doesn't feel good. Her brain doesn't work. When she's high, her brain doesn't work. When she's low, her brain doesn't work. There have been instances. I'm sorry, she's calling again.
Don't be. Take it.
Hello?
It's one thing for kids to refuse to eat their lunch or, do the things that we ask them to do, but this is life and death. We paused for probably 10 minutes because you had a phone call.
Yeah.
And you keep apologizing, and you do not need to, because the whole goal of this podcast was to almost make it like people are flies on the wall, because we have such rich conversations. And right now this is real. This is real. And you share whatever you feel comfortable sharing about the past 10 minutes, because I'm holding back right now because I heard what happened, and as a mother, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, the camp counselor called me from camp to say that she doesn't want to do a finger poke, just to make sure that the Dexcom numbers on my app are reading correctly, because she's been high for close to 3 hours. And when you're high for 3 hours, you can go into DKA, which is keto diabetic acidosis, which means your body's starting to shut down. Her numbers aren't coming down. She was refusing to do the finger poke, and now it's almost lunchtime. She'll need to eat, and she's refusing to take any more needles the rest of the day, which means she doesn't want to take insulin, which means she will end up in the emergency if she eats without her insulin.
And, she's 9.5, and this is what kids do because their brains are not fully developed and they're testing their boundaries. But when it's life and death, literally.
She gets these, it's really, I think she does this because she wants to be like every other kid.
Of course.
She doesn't want to have to go off to the office and take an injection and then wait 15 minutes while everybody else is eating, because that is like obvious to her that she's different. So every once in a while she's like, I refuse, I'm just going to eat, because she wants to be like every other kid.
Just like every other kid does.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the super shitty part of it. And the hardest part, it's not the injections. It's not calculating the carbs. Like, she knows how to calculate the carbs for her meal, figuring out the ratios. Like, that's not the hard part. It's her not feeling like every other kid. And then just having to like deal with this every day, all day. She doesn't get a break from it, right?
You are a superwoman. And
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
I'm grateful that you're sharing. Because I sit here with a lot of gratitude. And I think it's just a good, it's a good reminder for people, and to just reflect on what we have. And I know you have a lot of things that you're grateful for as well. And it's never a competition, but everybody is struggling one way or another. And when you can put that into perspective, it kind of makes the little shit not so big that we focus on.
Yeah.
And you're giving me that gift of really just putting a lot of things into perspective. Also, just as a friend and like your mentor and coach, I am grateful to know this in a deeper level.
Yeah.
And it makes me I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
To see what you have done. I mean, we haven't even talked about where you're taking your business and what you've done.
Yeah, that's the exciting part.
Yeah. And so let's shift gears a little, but I do want to make sure that we are adding links to this episode. Anything that I can do to help bridge that gap or close that or make connections. That I know that you were generous to offer that if anybody is struggling with this, that they can reach out to you. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
And then of course, whatever we can find to educate people, we'll put that there.
Especially like recently diagnosed kids. I reached out to a mom recently, and it's just like the first few months are like the hardest. And that's why I had to like pause, because, and I also have to give myself a bit of grace and like not eating as healthy and not like taking care of myself as much as I should, because it's a lot. Like by 5 p.m. I'm pretty tired because it's like just like trying to come down from the day of like, there's some days that are great and her numbers are great and it's fairly normal, right? And then there are other days where it's just like, high, low, what do we do? Oh my God, she's refusing. And it's like, it's really stressful. But I have like an awesome husband who helps out like tremendously. He's the one that gets up in the middle of the night when she's high to give injections. Like I half the time don't even know that like alarms aren't going off or whatever. And he gets up and gives her like, it's like having a newborn baby. Like, and then we're tired and like, because we have to get up in the middle of the night, and it's really difficult at the beginning. Because that's when the child is realizing that they have this for life and they have no choice, and they just explode, and you feel helpless because you can't do much. You can't do anything really about it. It just is. So if there's anyone that gets newly diagnosed, like send me a DM. I'm feeling like more people are getting diagnosed with it. It's kind of crazy. But anyways, I just have to push through and like, I can't let it define my life and like stop me from doing other things. If anything, I'm like, okay, she might have more problems later on in life if she doesn't take care of herself, not take care of herself, but like can't control those highs and those lows and whatnot. Like there's some of it that with hormones you can't control. Like anyone with type 1 diabetes knows that like it controls you, you don't control it. So just knowing that, you know, she might have a harder time holding a job when she's older or whatnot gives me more of a drive to like succeed and have something for her when she's older. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, screw this. We're doing this.
Yes.
And that's that.
Incredible. And, you know, we can sit in the pain and the trauma and all of the things that are going wrong in our life, or we can attach purpose and meaning behind what we're going through, and we can create. Because if we're not creating, we're disintegrating. And you've chose creation.
Yeah.
And you're building something pretty amazing. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I know that that lights you up and that lights me up to hear the growth that you've gone through. And now not just building a business, but we're talking legacy.
I guess you could say that. I never looked at it that way, but sure.
Why don't you describe the project that you shared with us at the other mastermind that we just hosted last month?
So this idea grew from me not well, there's a few parts to it because it's a multifaceted idea. It's not just a one thing, but first off, like I was looking for spaces to rent to be able to present because I, like many designers, work from a home office. So I don't want to bring my clients to my home office. I want to be able to present. And
is it like the contractors, how they'll fix everybody else's house, but not their own?
Yeah, basically. It's more like to present in somebody's home and they've got like the dog licking you or the baby crying in the background. Like it's just not professional, right? Like I'm trying to level up my services.
Yeah, of course.
And so I was trying to find a space that I could rent to be more professional. And I just was not finding the spaces that I really wanted or felt good about bringing my clients to, asking them to drive somewhere. All I found was white walls and a boardroom and nothing special, right? Like I'm designing their home. I want them to be excited about it.
It's part of the experience.
So I was having a hard time finding anywhere to do that. And I'm like, okay, so there's that. And then I'm speaking with other designers. And now that my mindset has changed a bit, I'm like, well, if this designer only knew this, if they only took this course, so why not also create a space where I could host educational pieces and help those designers also grow their businesses. And then there was also the aspect of Montreal and Toronto have to the trade only showrooms. So there's showrooms where you can get textiles, so fabrics and wallpapers that the general public cannot purchase. So only designers or architects or decorators could purchase through them. And we don't have that in Ottawa. So you have to drive to Montreal or Toronto if you want to go to these showrooms. So what I'm trying to do is also bring that to Ottawa so that the design community could also purchase, look through, purchase, whatever. Then the idea grew into, well, why don't I create like this designer hub? So designers can come, they can purchase, look through and purchase trade-only fabrics and wallpapers, but also have a space where they can come in, kind of like a workroom, and also provide samples where it's difficult for them to get or just annoying to get and have access to, like, because often your designers are trying to match hardware, like cabinet hardware, to light fixtures. and they don't have the samples of that particular brand of light fixture that they're using with that brand of cabinetry, and they want to match it. And sometimes it'll be called the same thing, but they don't look at all alike. So just to have like a space where they have all these samples and access to all of this, where they can work and pull samples and whatnot. So I want to create a hub where there is that portion of it, but also have a membership tier where maybe monthly or every second month, we host somebody coming in to give us an education piece on the business of design, like how to price for profit or whatnot. Or even just maybe like mindset coaches or whatnot to come in, because that was super helpful to me, right? So seeing that was extremely helpful to me and grew my mindset. I know it can help others, because I see a lot of other designers like stuck in this, like not making that much profit and all of this, right? Like, why can't I help them grow?
You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And you get comfortable in that world. And the thought of that next level, it's sad. I see it all the time with just all types of business owners. And I just hope that these types of conversations can plant that seed for them to start just thinking about.
Like, it's exciting to like know that like I can help these businesses grow and they can succeed as well. And then part of the membership, like they can have access to this presentation room where they can rent like hourly or whatnot to their clients in a professional setting, in a beautiful setting, not just a white room. And then I also want to bring in a cafe so that it's all in the same building. You're presenting, you want to bring, you know, your client's favorite cappuccino or whatever, you could walk across, get it, and then have it somewhat catered. And then this cafe, because my daughter is also celiac, it is a struggle to find places where we feel comfortable. I'm finding there are restaurants that are accommodating.
Okay.
And we have an app that shows us where we can like celiac safe or whatnot. But then we go there, we eat there, and then she gets sick. So it's like, because there's cross contamination and people who have a sensitivity, it's different than actual celiac. Anyways, so there are bakeries that are fully gluten-free, but I've seen them and they're not cafes where it's like you want to go and meet your friend for an hour and have, you know, a nice chat or whatever. It's just like grab it and go sort of thing. So I want this cafe to be 100% gluten-free so that celiacs can come in and don't have to worry about cross-contamination. And because my daughter is also a type 1 diabetic, we have to count carbs on everything. You go and I buy a muffin somewhere, I have no idea if it's like 15 carbs or 60 carbs or anywhere in between. So to give her that, it's like, well, it's either we give it to her because we don't want her to feel different and we want her to feel like normal. So we'll give it to her, but then she goes up and then she goes down. And it's just like, it's not a fun time. So everything in the cafe is going to be labeled with net carbs. And most of the population be like, why is that there? There's not even calories. No, it's carbs. Yeah. So any diabetic can come in also and feel like, hey, like I don't really have to think. It's just like taking that one thing off of their plate.
I also like the idea of even just having a bit of education tied to that too, or, you know, something that can give people more awareness about what type 1 diabetes is, or what celiac disease is, or what net carbs are and why that even matters.
Yeah. So then there's that. And then I want the presentation room attached to the cafe so that it can be open in the evenings and we can have small events there. And I would also love to be able to offer it up to nonprofits. I don't know, maybe once a month we can offer it up to nonprofits and they can use the space. And then I am also bringing in a custom furniture line that will only be accessible through designers in the area. It's pretty exciting.
Did you see yourself building something like this even just a year ago?
I ideas.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that'd be a dream. But I never thought I could do it.
What gave you that shift?
You in Costa Rica.
Which was also a journey for you because you brought your daughter to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And another one of our masterminds, which are very impactful masterminds.
Yeah.
But talk about that shift, because a lot of people have dreams, but not a lot of people actually follow through with their dreams.
Yeah.
And what did it take for you to shift into the type of person that follows through?
So you were going on a hotel tour.
Oh, yes.
And I wanted to go so bad. Like, I love seeing inside people's homes, hotels, whatever. I love it. And I wanted to go, but I knew that I can't afford to buy a hotel. So why would I go on this trip? Mm-hmm. And you told me, you opened up my eyes. It doesn't matter. There's ways that you can do this. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go. Anyways. And then part of the mastermind was, throwing something away or getting rid of something.
Letting go.
Letting go. That's what it was. So I took my rock. We went to the ocean. He said, just let go of something. For me, it was my limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
My limiting beliefs in that, just because I don't have the means right now or I don't know how I'm going to do it doesn't mean I can't do it. So that's out the door. I still don't 100% know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. I have ideas.
Yeah.
I need investors if anybody wants to invest. But it was before, it was smaller thinking of other people do that because they have money or they got it somehow. I just was never taught different ways you can do things. Right. And so you kind of opened that up to me and oh, I could do that. That's how she did that. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't actually have to have millions of dollars to be able to do something. Yeah. That's kind of crazy. So
it's wild, actually.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to start talking about my idea then, because I held it in because I thought it was too big for me. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
A seashell in the water.
Yeah.
Letting go of limiting beliefs. Because again, you don't know what you don't know. And then it's getting into the right rooms with people who are doing the things.
Right.
And that one conversation, that one tip, that one piece of advice can be literally life-changing.
Yeah.
And to see that you're building. And sometimes we don't know how we're getting there, but it's setting that vision.
Yeah.
And then starting to show up like the person who can hold that vision.
Yeah.
And then magically it starts to come together.
Yeah.
One step at a time.
It's crazy what your mindset can do. It's nuts.
It's nuts.
It's nuts.
And you've gone through the journey starting from listening to podcasts on mindset to building the business to now creating this legacy while going through all of the challenges that you've been going through and being now the one to educate others. When you think about it, your daughter's watching you. Whether they don't tell us what they see, but she's watching you. Yeah. What are the parts that you want her and hope that she sees as you're building?
To not be scared of what other people are going to think of you. Just because something's really hard doesn't mean you can't talk about it and share it with others. But she's smart. She's a smart cookie. After she was diagnosed I don't even know if it's a couple months later, she wanted to start an Instagram page and share her journey so that other kids wouldn't feel alone. And that's what she did. So she has a little Instagram that she doesn't post. I post everything. She doesn't actually touch it, but she makes the videos and will send it to me. She hasn't done it in a little while. But she did at first. And like, actually, that's what made me show up more online.
Wow.
Because I was like, if an 8-year-old could take a video of herself and talk and post it and not care like what anyone thinks, then I can do it. That literally was like the thing that made me show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's a smart cookie. Like, she was like, make sure you talk about me on the podcast because I want to be famous one day. I'm like, oh, kid. But, yeah, just like to not be scared to share her story because it's going to help somebody.
It's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah.
And Maddie is a tough cookie. She's tenacious.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because part of Build Pro is vertical integration.
Yeah.
And so we really align with building our business, our life, our family. And that's why we try to invite families when we do our masterminds away. And because we know that the kids are watching.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what Maddie does. And if she continues to share that message, no doubt that little girl who doesn't want to poke her finger because it's going to make her look different from the other kids.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get to see Maddie talk about that and what she's going through. And that's going to...
I give her like 3 years and then she's going to be there.
She's going to help.
I'm sure.
Yes. I love that. Where can people find you if they're interested to learn more about you, learn more about the Legacy Project, hire you as a designer, follow your Instagram? I am loving your socials right now, so you got to go check out Stefanie at Twig and Timbers. But where can people find you?
So on social media, it's Twig Timber Interiors. That's really where to find me. Facebook, same thing. I am still in the process of gathering information for my designer hub. So I have nothing on that yet and probably won't for a little while. I've got to get out surveys to designers and whatnot to see like what is really needed. So we'll see about that. We'll come back to that. But just like on Instagram for now. And then it's same thing, twigtimberinteriors.ca. And if you want to hire me, fill out the inquiry form and I'll get back to you.
Stefanie, thank you so much for coming today. I know that it wasn't easy. It's out of the way, but I really hope that this helps a lot of people. And I'm just so grateful for you sharing.
Thanks for having me. This is pretty awesome. And sorry I cried a little bit.
Well, you don't. If the host cries too, then it's fine. It cancels it out. Can I give you a hug?
Yes, of course.
Oh my gosh.